it's deep, serious stuff. And whenever we've talked on Loose Women about, you hear these shocking cases, all of us go, what makes a young person behave in that way? Murder, violent crime, like what happens to them?
Yeah, it's that question, why, isn't it? Yeah, it's such a simple question, why? And even, this is a 5-part series, we don't necessarily have one right answer. And I think that is the shocking thing, because it's strange. Like, I've come on the show before, talked about lots of different things, and this is kind of a strange one to come on about, but it's so prevalent and it's so of this time. It was last summer, I remember reading statistics somewhere saying there's a 300% increase in teenagers committing murder. And, you know, as a young woman, I remember being told, like, this is a person you should avoid. And we're not told to avoid children. And in this series, you know, statistically it is men, but there's women as well. And it's, how could someone do something like this? What is that? Why? So it's called Britain's Killer Teens. So there are 5 episodes. Yes. Are you doing one case, exploring one case per episode? Per episode, yeah. And to be honest, you could do a whole series on one episode. And so each one, we look at the first one, I remember doing it at the end of last year, was a young boy called Logan MacPhail. And I was doing this and filming this at the same time Adolescence came out on Netflix. And I actually kind of got such a shock because there was this drama on TV that everyone was watching, and I'm looking at this real case, and it basically was the real-life version, and looking at the reality and what happens to the family afterwards, because obviously that's a series that... So did this young guy kill a girlfriend? He killed it, and he seemed like... I spoke to the family of the victim, Holly, and he seemed like such a lovely boy. And you hear this, you always see this in the papers, he was such a lovely boy, and why did he do this? How did we not see this coming? I think that's the thing, isn't it? When we read about these things, we instantly go, oh, his family must be bad. Or you've got to blame the parents. It makes you feel safe, where he lives. We want to explain it, don't we? And I hate to say this, I don't necessarily always explain it, and sometimes you can't explain it. Sometimes you can, though. And it's those times you're like, how can we stop this happening? There were telltale signs. I spoke to Holly's mother, who was, she's a 15-year-old girl who was murdered by her ex-boyfriend, Logan, who was 16. And she knew something was wrong. They were in a relationship. She was 15. She didn't really understand what was going on. And the papers wrote about it like a knife crime, but it wasn't just a knife crime. There was domestic violence there. There was coercive control. So I really wanted to explore this as a subject for such younger people to kind of go through everything like this. It's shocking, actually, for me, to hear the words coercive control with teenagers. You kind of think that that is an adult term. But it's facilitated a lot the way, even more now, by social media. And the misogyny. Because, you know, if you meet a boy at school, for example, or a bully even, it ends at school and you come home for the day, but it doesn't end anymore because you've got the phone. Well, Michaela, the mother of Holly, thought that she had her daughter safe in her room. That's what she said. She was safe and she wasn't safe. Like, Logan had managed to go online and change her passwords and was able to kind of get close to her in another way. And it's going back to the coercive control. At the moment, as the law stands, you can only be a victim of domestic violence 16 plus. Holly was 15. So at the moment, it's seen as a knife crime. And her parents are fighting for it to be changed, because I think if we understand the nuances, we can kind of help prevent it, hopefully, because it's not just a knife crime. But then every single episode is completely different. That was one particular one. And sometimes we can explain it, sometimes we can't. I mean, we all kind of know about these things that are out there, you know, we see it in the papers and whatever. But when you go into a detail like this, does it sort of sometimes get in your head a little bit as an earworm? Because, you know, now you're a parent yourself, thinking about the world and how scary it is. It's very hard to leave the house sometimes, it is, isn't it? But you have to see the good, and that's the one thing I found from doing this. I spoke about a lot of bad things happening. I spoke to a lot of good people. Good people trying to prevent this happening, parents who've lost their children who are now setting up charities, finding a new purpose. And I think that hope, Holly's Hope is the name of the charity, Holly's charity, but there's other cases as well. And I think for me, I have to hold in... You know, the world at the moment is a terrible place. But was there any kind of common denominator? Because you hear adults, we do it on here, oh, you know, it's social media, it's the internet, it's the things they have access to now, video games. We want to explain it, don't we? They're kind of anaesthetised now because they're playing violent video games. Did you come away with anything thinking, yes, it is those things? They are factors, Ruth, 100% they're factors. And I've seen that one case, Stephen Miles, he loved the show Dexter, and what he did to a girl he went to school with was pretty much identical to some of those episodes. God. So you can't blame television alone. Television shouldn't be raising our children. And that's what I've learned. And it also terrifies me. There was one case, Brian Blackwell, who killed his parents. and his parents basically were too nice to him. Does that make sense? Like, they basically never gave him boundaries. Right. So now I'm, like, giving my child all the boundaries. She's only 4, but, like, boundaries, like, you know, so it does make you think, but I think it's really important to ask those questions, even if we can't answer them, and to look at a range, because sadly, there is no... I wish I could come on and go, this is the reason they did it. This is how we can stop it.
It's a fascinating subject, though, but... you know, we were talking, because obviously we're all quite a bit older than you are, talk about our kids going off to uni. You've had a little milestone in the house.
Off to primary school with a giant bag. What is in the bag? They give you this giant bag and, like, she's toppling over.
And why do they all need water now? We never had water all day, did we, when we were...
We're so dehydrated there, weren't we, in the school?
Dehydrated.
But how did you feel, sort of like, you know...
Yeah, I think it is harder on the parents. Like, she didn't care. She was gone off. Also, she went in for half an hour. I don't know what the settling... I was like, this is not helpful.
Still significant.
Still significant. Yeah, I think it's strange. You're kind of getting through each day. I was thinking when you guys were saying about, you know, the empty nest and... But at the moment, I'm thinking, like, just surviving each day. I'm like, she's only in for an hour. Today, she's not even in, because it's the other half. So Iain is at home. I'm like, you need to be there today. So it's a nightmare
How
for
is
the juggle.
Iain about her going to school? Because we always talk about mums, but, you know, dads feel that
You know
too.
Iain, he's more sensitive than everyone. Like, he really feels it, and it's lovely. And I think everyone as a parent, and even going back to the series, and, you know, when bad things happen to people, you like to think, well, that's because the parenting was this way. We're all trying our best. We are all trying our best. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing half the time.
I say that to my girls. I say we're just adult children doing everything for the first time. We just haven't got the answers.
When I realised my parents had no idea what they were doing. Do you know, there's that bit of, you had no idea.
You were rubbish too.
But they're all trying their best. And I think no matter what your parenting skills are, you're doing it because you think that's the right thing for your child, even if they differ from someone else.
We're all busking it.
We're all busking it. What about September scrubbers? Are you having a bit of a clear out?
Well, when I saw that come up, I'm like, what are we talking about on this show?
Cleaning the house.
It's when I realised, I think, having a 4-year-old, that nothing from last winter fits her now. So that's great. And then I've got a clothing line that comes out this week, and I'm going, well, in order to fit that in my wardrobe, I've got to get rid of the old stuff. You can't buy new stuff unless you get rid of old stuff.
I've heard about that rule.
Or buy
She didn't get that memo.
Well, listen, we've run out of time, as always, Laura. You know what it's like. Britain's Killer Teens, 5 episodes. The first one is tonight, 9 o'clock, on Crime Plus Investigation. We also stream on Amazon Prime. Lovely to see you.
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. Thank you.